Welcome to the Dead Hole.
The Dead Hole.
My name is Sosh. I'm here with the lovely Ash Cat. And Maria's in the corner. Hi, Maria. Hi. We're sitting here. Our friend Jonathan Mark has joined us again today to hang out with us. Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for always having me. I love this. I love this place.
Oh, we like you.
I love you.
This place.
People may wonder, what is the correlation with hospitality and a business podcast and me hanging out with somebody who can actually talk to dead people?
Yeah.
I know.
What is the correlation?
I'm going to fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you. Aside of the fact that I borderline want to put a bullet in my fucking brain half the time.
Please, God.
No, I got to be honest with you, because when you're in business, it fucking sucks. I got to tell you, everybody. You are like... You just told me you got a call yesterday from a friend of yours. I don't know if you can say your name or not, right?
Yeah, you can.
And Snooky reached out to you, and you know, she was asking questions about the drones and blah blah blah. And it's like, what the fuck are these questions? Because
They're UFOs.
you have become like a default spiritual advisor.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happened, but I'm happy to be one for people. Happy to be one.
I actually feel fucking bad for you.
Yeah.
Because
He deals with my problems too. I mean, everyone's throwing shit at this guy.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, in the world of business, you're like, what is the point?
Right.
Of dealing with all the shit that you have to deal with, all the other crap, the crazy staff, the bartender banging, the customers in the bathroom, the manager.
Wait, I need a story on that after, because I saw that. I was like, what the hell just happened?
It's true, yeah.
And then you wonder, it's like, do I almost start to adopt this nihilistic perspective in life where it's like, why am I doing this? And I'm just going to be fucking dead with nothing to show for it.
Right.
And then there's Jonathan. And he gives me hope.
That's right.
Gives me a little bit of hope.
I know.
That's right.
Yeah,
That if you're a good human being and you try and provide a service for people, it's not about the monetary value. It's almost like this spiritual value about what is to come. And I got to tell you something. Don't take this the wrong way, everybody, but I can't wait to fucking get the fuck out of this goddamn earth and be dead. I don't like it here.
Can't wait.
I don't like it here.
I don't think anyone likes it here
I'm
anymore.
Fucking tired. I'm
He's
tired
ready to go.
That's why I love this show. I love it.
Ship his
I love
ass
it.
off.
I am fucking tired of everything lately.
Adios.
Fucking bah humbug. Merry Christmas. Fucking kill me.
He's Scrooge. Yeah, he's one of those. Bye. You're out of here. You're out of here.
I think I needed that. I just think I needed to like just
to
fucking
vent a
Vent
little
it
bit.
out.
dump.
Yeah.
Vent
Now-
your shit out.
Let's get to some fun shit here.
Yeah.
I know that our last conversation, which is awesome, and I'm very obsessed with the afterlife, as you know, and I still, as I said last time, I'm constantly looking at neuroscience and things like that to try and, you know, get the proper answer. And then you come along and you're just like fucking, you know, you take all science and medicine and you just go, boom, I got the answer.
I wish I had the answer.
Well, you said a lot of really cool things last time.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit more about it. I mean,
She loves this too in the corner. She's excited in the corner. No, don't make it.
but as a medium, what you are not is not someone who's able to do premonitions.
Yeah, it's like I guess the best way I can explain it, it's like to be medium, you kind of have to also be psychic to some extent. But the way that I would get future things is through a loved one that has passed away or a friend or something. And the problem with going towards the future, and the truth of it is there's too much free will at hand. Like there's just way too much. So if I'm telling you something that I see, it would only be like the near future. It wouldn't be the far future because there's just like too much things that can interfere or whatever. The only thing that like I really focus on for that stuff for people is health. Like that's the only thing I will like really bust my ass on, and knock on wood, I've like really saved a bunch of people's lives. I actually saved Steph's father's eyes, which is like super bizarre. He didn't know he had like something going on, whatever. And I was doing like a reading for someone else, like that she was, I think, in her family potentially, I don't know. And I kept bringing up her father in the eyes, and she's like, what the fuck? Yeah, like, she's like, my dad can see fine. She's like,
and this was because somebody was communicating with you saying, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, someone was basically coming in, like tapping the eyes and like, you know, flashing her father's name at me. So I was like, Steph, I'm like, this was coming through. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So Steph is Steph, and she told her father and made him go to the eye doctor.
So you get somebody who's kind of talking in your ear. Telling you about the situation that might be going on with the loved one's health.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's like really the only stuff when it comes to the future, like I was saying, that I will focus on. I just feel like the other stuff, like a lot of people, and you know, it's not a problem, they want to know if they're going to get married, like have more kids or stuff like that, where I'm like, in the grand scheme of importance, like maybe it's important to the individual, but like health and stuff like that is, to me, where I'm going to focus majority of my energy, like trying to do that stuff for them.
Listen, I got to be honest with you. Selfishly, right now, I am desperate to know if some aura of shit is hanging around me, because it's really been, and I don't like playing the fucking pity party.
No.
I'm not into it, but I got to fucking tell you something. The last couple of months has really just been one big shit sandwich.
Yeah.
You getting anything? Am I going to be all right here?
You'll be completely fine, trust me.
Fucking bullshit. Gotta go on.
God damn, he didn't want to be okay. He didn't want to be okay.
Yeah. All right, let's turn the page here for a minute.
Turn it.
And let's have a little fun with this.
Let's do it.
What I wanted to ask you.
Ask away.
Do you ever do anything fun with this? Like, can we do like date the dead guy dating game?
Probably.
Like, can you get like 3 dead people and Ashley interviews
probably all
them?
my friends. I wouldn't be surprised.
And she has to pick like which dead guy to go out on a dead date with or something?
Why can't I pick which dead guy it is? Which dead person, which dead
can
friend
you
is
actually,
it?
that's an
Which
interesting
dead
question.
friend is it? I don't know, there's a lot of them.
How do they come through? Do you get like multiple people can come through, or is one person like loud and he throws the other person out of the way?
Literally just before I had an appointment, whatever, and the person's mom came through, but then 5 seconds later, the husband barged right in and was like, I'm taking over the reading. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, there could be multiple people. One person's always going to be more dominant than the other.
So it would be difficult to try and do like a dead guy dating game, because you need 3 willing participants.
I need 3 willing participants. And typically when I pull people in, they're like family members and shit and like friends. So
date the
like,
dead cousin.
Yeah, date the dead cousin.
Jesus,
date,
let's not.
Literally.
So this is terrible. Is it? How about more like, would it be, how about this one? Almost like a Pictionary, like guess who it is.
That I could do.
That would be fun.
That I can do.
I could probably guess who,
Yeah, that I can do. And I'm pretty bomb at Pictionary. so.
He's a Pictionary
How would you,
boy.
I mean...
How would one do it?
Yeah, I mean, how do you do like that's something like we can't do that now, right? I mean, you gotta
Probably
like
not.
conjure shit up, but I mean, like
probably get in like the zone if I'm gonna do that. But it would be like if I pull in someone who is like name is like Ben or whatever, right? And then I would try to describe what the person like what features they show me to like that are important, because like every human, we're all like fairly similar, I guess. But if someone has like a scar in their cheek or something, like I would draw a scar on the cheek, on the left cheek or something.
That's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Dead guy
cool.
Pictionary.
Yeah.
How
That's cool.
fucked up
Wow.
is this?
Yeah.
Does playing games like that almost poo-poo the sanctity of like the afterlife? Is it almost like we're like, I'm not saying making fun of it, but like exploiting it by being a bunch of shitheads?
No, I think it's just a way that different people will cope with the afterlife, right? It's like for different people to understand it. Because I think people take it sometimes too seriously, and that's fine. And like I take it seriously as well, but they have their personalities as, if I'm talking to you or you, it's the same on the other side. And that's how people are like, all right, this person's real, right? If I'm pulling in someone and I'm like, yeah, like this person is like super quiet. They're like, the fuck you talking about? This person was a loud asshole. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, must be my Uncle Johnny. So let me ask you some of the other things.
Yep.
The big question that I know we spoke about last time that really... It's like a spiritual, like a cosmic consciousness, right? Like we're all part of this like universal web type of a thing.
More or less, yeah.
What do you do for fun up? Is it fun or is it just like, I'm just fucking a ball of energy, I'm bouncing around? Do they bang? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the majority of what I have seen is just they're there for their family. So, and like, yeah, like I think a lot of like the quote unquote fun aspect of it is like if they were struggling in life with like a sickness or mental health or whatever, you see the best version of them. So like that's like the, I guess, the better part of it. It's like I don't see when they come through for like a reading someone that is having mental health issues or that has like cancer, like, and they were terminal and it was bad. They're coming through like very healthy. They'll show me what it was like for them, but they come through healthy. So I'm going to assume what they do for fun is just being back to normal, I guess. I don't know.
Where are they though? Like,
see, like that's like a tough question because
like not like in a house on a beach.
No, they're like, I think I said this last time, right. But when I've been getting tested through like scientists and stuff for a while, and you know they do these things where we do readings for people. They kind of set up like this. They'll have like a family member with me, and they'll be like, say a memory from this family person, and they see which part of the brain kind of highlights, like whatever. And then they'll bring someone random and be like, do a reading. But there's another medium, another famous medium on the West Coast, whatever, and he's doing the same thing. And we're on screens, but we don't see each other. We see that one person. And we're doing the reading and we're getting virtually the same stuff in different orders, but like at the same time. So from my perspective is they're a ball of energy and they can move kind of at the speed of light, but I don't think there's really a perception of time for them because our day is different than their day. Like, so it's just like, that's just from like the scientific side of what I've seen. I don't really know what it's like from like the spiritual advisor side of me. But like,
what does their day look like though? What do you mean? I'm trying to picture like
I don't know. Like it's tough because it's crazy. Like people always ask this question, like anytime you do reading, like do people always show up? They want to know, it's like, is there like a success rate or not? Like, and the truth of it is that people will always show up. It just may not be the person that you want to show up.
Right.
So, and I think that like screws with people a little bit because if they have someone in their mind that they want to hear from and someone else comes in, but it's just as important for the person that they're living with, for the person, whatever, they dismiss the entire thing. Like the entire thing, like to them is like, who gives a crap, right?
Let me ask you this one though, because I know you believe in reincarnation because of the conversation we had about the kid James, the pilot kid.
Yep.
And the other thing that you had said, which seems to be universally kind of accepted, is the different levels. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like as we try and graduate to different levels spiritually.
Yeah.
Right? So somebody who might be on like a lower level is going to come through before somebody on a higher level, you say, because they might be content or blah, blah, blah. But if somebody doesn't come through, could they possibly be in a reincarnated state?
That's a really good question. So I've had like where so like the best way I can explain it is this. We all have like a ball of energy, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? But like when we come back, the piece of us that is in this timeline will always stay there. It will always stay there, like a piece of you, but the majority will come back, right? So if someone, and I've had this before, and I know other mediums that have too, where someone passed away tragically young, right? or maybe not tragically or young, but they want to come back so desperately. They don't want to wait for their family. They just want to come back, that they will come back like with the next baby, right? Like the next baby within like the group of like, I always say like the 300 or whatever, but in your core group, they come back, but the piece of them will always remain on the other side. So to your point of like people not coming through sometimes, yes, sometimes they're the most content. However, people will come through stronger when there's messages that need to be said from the person to the family. Like it's just the way that it is. Like I keep using this example, but like literally today, this person's mom came through. Like, and that's their mom, and they were super close. It was so evident they were super close. But the husband barged through because he had to apologize for things that were like very personal and tragic to them that she never shared with anyone. So it's like you would assume that the mom would overpower. That's your mom. You were with her from beginning to end with everything. But then the husband maybe wasn't, or your partner or whoever in life maybe wasn't the greatest person. They did things, whatever. That person barged through because they needed to make amends, essentially. So it's like, it's a hard thing because you want to stick with the positive reading. Like you do, because like you don't want everyone to be like, wow, this kid always talking about such intense shit. Fuck this kid. Like, you know, like screw him. But she was crying and she said that she needed this and that this was like, it was something that she really needed. She didn't need to hear from her mom per se, right? Like she knows that her mom is fine. It's the husband. So I guess it's really dependent on what needs to come through per person.
Do they like fight? Like, shut up! I'm fucking talking. Like,
yo, it's funny.
You ever hear that?
It's funny you say that because sometimes when I'm doing readings, like the other energy will try to poke through more, meaning like they'll try to get a message across more, and you can see them trying to battle for who has like the center stage.
That's
kind
funny.
of, you know, like.
It's
That's
interesting
funny.
because
I like that.
what that says is even in the afterlife, like there's a sense of ego that still stays with you in a soul form.
It's literally
like,
your
fuck you, me.
It's literally your personality. So like when if someone is so dominant and they're whatever, they're typically in the beginning will overpower anyone because their personality is like that strong. Then eventually as things go, when the important stuff comes, you see like a kind of like a switch back. And it really goes by personality. If someone wants to be center of attention, there's like Auntie Sue who always wants to be center of attention, right? Then she's going to start at the center of attention. Like initially I'll be like, who's Susan? Right? And then they'll be like, that's my aunt. And I'm like, all right, she's really loud. She goes, yeah, she used to love to drink and dance on tables. So
there you go.
Like,
there you go.
You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting what you said though, that so you could be in like two states at the same time.
Yeah.
Like consciousness. Like you might be like actually reincarnated, but there's a part of your consciousness from a past life that might actually be present still.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to that kid, right? Like, you know, he was able to fully describe the jet that he was on, his platoon, like the people's names, and the kid was like 4. And so like if I was to do a reading on him, and I've spoken to them, but if I was to ever do a reading for them, I would connect not even to that guy, but like because he's a sole individual, he's different now. But if I was to connect to that guy's family, the pilot, then I'd be able to actually connect with him. It's just like if I was to do cases and stuff, like when people ask me cases and stuff like that, I'm not speaking to the family. It's harder to do it because I'm not speaking to the family or someone who is so close to them and stuff.
Wow.
Could it be, I guess I would think two things here, right? One is that consciousness is just a big web, right? Or is it more like a time imprint that stays existing somewhere that you're tapping into?
Yeah, I don't know because like, again, I will never connect to someone that is like 4 generations back. Like, because that would be like, how can you validate anything besides a name? Like you can't. Like, so to me, it's like, I always go back to maybe your great grandparents if you had a relationship with them. So I don't know if it's like a web or a time imprint, but it doesn't seem like our time here seems to be vastly different than their time. Like it seems to be so different.
Is your wife trying to negotiate the afterlife with you?
Oh
like
my
it
God,
should be like,
I
None of this
You were gonna
till
ask
death
that.
do us part bullshit. I
my-
want you for eternity.
Literally, she's like, this life, the next life, and the next. Then after that, you're good to go.
How do you feel? Oh, so she wants
Shit.
3 lives.
She wants 3. Like,
Jesus Christ.
she's like, you're good to go after 3.
Oh my god.
I'd be petrified.
I am
Been with Ryan
petrified.
in every life. You've
I
been
am.
with-
I am fucking petrified. Like,
Jesus
it's funny.
Christ.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to be enjoyable though, doing what you do, because it's like you really.
You're helping people. I cried at the supermarket for about like an hour after I left here, and all you said was Brendan, and I fucking cried for like 3 hours. And I'm like, changed my life. Said one word. I'm like, you cry baby man.
And listen, I feel like because we're friends at this point, like,
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
like if boundaries are crossed, you wouldn't be insulted. You'd be like, not my thing, right?
Yeah,
but
I would
like,
tell you.
because you never want to say. But we got any dead people around here today?
I mean, I'm sure.
Probably
Yeah.
No,
around
but
here.
nobody's like fucking. Hey, tell Sosh she's a dick or Ashley's.
No,
No,
I
they
mean,
love
like,
me.
I'm
They love
sure.
me.
I'm sure. I came from a reading, so I'm a little tapped.
It
But
beats you up.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. I mean, it physically drains you. Physically and emotionally draining experience doing a reading, I bet.
yeah, I get migraines pretty often from it.
You do?
Yeah, I get migraines. I get drenched in sweat. From
Really?
it. Yeah, I mean,
That's
people can
what
look this up.
happens at night.
Like any show I go on, I'm wearing a sweatshirt because the inevitable thing of when I go on, like,
You're going to sweat.
well, they ask for a reading typically before, and then I have to record right after. So it's like I'm drenched in sweat from the reading. So I'm like, I don't want people seeing me drenched in sweat.
Really?
So like now what I do for people is I say, which I've been starting to do, people obviously want the readings on their show. And I'm like, listen, the reason why I don't do it, and the truth is I've had this experience where I do a reading and it's too personal. It's too fucking personal. And it's happened more than one
You
time.
told me that on Call Her Daddy.
Call Her Daddy and other shows at Barstool too. So they don't air it or they just take away the reading. And the problem with that is it's so specific for them that you can't Google it. And it's like you see real-time reaction, right? And maybe it is tough, but it's like you see the
Also,
real-time
if they're
reaction.
cutting certain things, it's taken out of context, which could be a disservice.
Oh my!
Yeah,
to you.
definitely, how they cut it.
I literally just had this on my show where I did an unsolved case with the daughter, and because I recorded with her on a Tuesday, they passed along the footage to the police and the people that were involved. Right, 2 days later, they made the arrest after the footage was sent. Right, so it's getting picked up by all these news sources from my podcast and stuff. But then I'm getting messages from the Texas Rangers, like all these people, like not the baseball team, like the actual Texas Rangers. And they're like, take this part out, and like other like law enforcement agencies.
It's fucking annoying.
Wow.
It is. So like people don't get this, but like they made me take out almost 20 minutes
Wow.
of things. 20 minutes. So like it sounds like I'm having a conversation and asking the daughter of the missing person and stuff like a question, and she's answering, and I'm going off of that. But it's
And
like
that's not what you do at all.
no, and it's like they took 20 minutes out. They took like almost 20 minutes out. Like Red, my producer, who's like, he's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, again, like, and I'm getting it too. So it's
Right.
like,
Wow.
So it started from like 48 minutes, and it's down to like 30.
Every business has its idiosyncrasies. Talking to the dead sounds to be fucking quite annoying. You know?
No, I'm definitely fortunate to do it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it's definitely when I try to put myself to help with these cases, and then like the thing too,
He's a nice guy.
like
fucking
He's the
knows?
best. Every time I need him,
What?
he's like,
Do you ever get pissed
"Hey."
off?
oh, of course, man.
Do you?
Yeah.
You ever yell at anybody?
From Long Island.
I've thrown people out before.
Really?
Yeah,
What did you do? He said, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
dick.
yeah. I mean, like,
Or not taking a reading because they come off sketchy.
yeah,
Or things
like
that.
yeah. I've had people come and they sit down and they start laughing. Right? It's males and females, right? And then I say some stuff that is like very personal that you can't Google and stuff. They get shocked, and I stand up and I go, get the fuck out of my house. And they leave because it's like they're like laughing at my face and stuff. I mean, this was like years ago.
Really?
I haven't really
still,
had it
yeah.
now, but I said to them, I'm like, you have a heart issue and you're like, you probably should go to the hospital by your now because you're a fucking idiot. And I go, you don't speak to your kid because blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this is all from your father, like the both of you. And they're both looking at me. And I go, also, I'm like, get the fuck out of my house.
Goodbye.
And they're like, what? I'm like, stand up and get the fuck out of my house. And they're like, starting to like cry because I had said stuff that was like, it hit home to them. They're like, no, I'm sorry. I'm like, nope, get the fuck out. Like, yeah. And I mean, you know, I try to be as lenient as possible as far as like, I do understand people coming. It's different. It's not normal. So like people handle shit differently. But when you're like laughing in my face, it takes every ounce of me not to like punch you in the face. Like, you know, like you're coming to me. You waited a year to come see me and you're laughing in my face. And I said that to them. I'm like, you waited over a year to sit down
And just laugh.
and just start like giggling to each other. And I'm like, I'm not that fucking guy. Like,
no,
I'm just
get the
not
fuck
that
out.
guy. Like, I'm not your spiritual advisor type of fucking person. Like, I'm not the guy that's
He's
going to
got a
sit
mean
there.
streak in him.
Yeah, I do. It takes a lot. I mean, it's really from like, you know, I was a pretty big like MMA fighter. Like I trained for like 10 years. So like doing that, like
I didn't know you fought.
yeah, I
really?
fought in the ROC, everything. So
Oh, that's fun.
so like because of that, it changes my perspective with like dealing with people. Like
Right.
I don't need to prove myself to anyone.
He'll just wrestle
I
you
just
down.
I dealt with like the biggest and baddest people. Like, you know, like they're only like half in the UFC, half are like still in amateurs. And it's like, I don't need to prove myself, but it's like, it takes a lot to push me like that. And then when I get to that point, it's like, I see red and I just want to like rip your throat out. And it's hard for me to get out of it.
Life is hard.
Yeah.
Life is hard.
It is. And that's why I think as I'm
People
getting,
suck.
people do
Yeah, people
suck.
suck.
I'm getting older and like I'm just like, you know, I try to have more patience with people now with that because I'm like, I don't know what they're going through and I could really make their day 10 times worse.
Because you're still, what are you, 32?
Yeah.
You're a young guy.
Yeah, you're so
I don't know,
young.
man. I feel a little bit old, you know? I just start getting back to BJJ again, start training again. And I'm like, wow, I am sore as fuck. I used to be able to do 2 days before like Naga, before Pride, before anything.
Right.
And now I'm like dying at like an intermediate class.
You'll get back at it.
Like, what the fuck
I don't do nothing,
is
so I
going
can't.
on here?
I benched 275 the other day.
That's
Wow.
huge, man.
Not bad for a 46-year-old.
That's fucking huge.
Yeah.
How's your shoulder with that?
Fucking hurts like shit. It
Jesus, I'm sure.
does.
Yeah, that's why I'll never go above 225.
225 was hard to get to. I could do like
Yeah.
7 225, 7 reps,
Yeah,
225.
yeah.
But
I'm happy with that.
Same, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it hurts your shoulder. So
It does. And your body breaks as you get older.
I am feeling that. I play volleyball on Mondays. And
Oh, that's fun.
yeah, I play with a bunch of guys from like PD and stuff. And, you know, I go a little hard, not going to lie.
Love that.
Diving, spiking it on people.
Oh, it's fun.
And I'm like, the next day I'm like, fucking
Wow.
can't walk and shit. I'm like the Thorogun. I'm like, holy fuck.
Oh
Like,
my god.
So you're never like doing that and like some spirit comes through and be like, yo, fucking take it easy on my son. Like he's a pussy or something like that.
I have no,
my God.
no. I have shit where like people do come through and they're like, you know, a lot of it because it's a lot of dudes that play in this league. And there are a lot of law enforcement, so it's a lot of military people that come through like their friends and stuff. Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not.
Yeah,
being
I'm
that
just trying
guy.
to play volleyball.
You can't
here.
even fucking enjoy yourself
play
because
volleyball, Jesus.
like this shit could just at will just pop on.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned to ignore it for sure, but it's like, you know, I've done it a few times where I've had mixed responses. So it's like,
Right, you told me that.
yeah.
Did you, or at times do you feel like a tortured soul? I mean, that is one hell of a burden to bear.
You know, man, like
Think about it.
Yeah, at first I had this question where I was like, why me?
Why
You know?
me?
You know? Like I was definitely not I didn't have like a rap sheet or anything, but I definitely partied and had fun. You know, I was a lacrosse player at college. I'm like,
Right.
you know, I had like that. I wrestled, I was fighting, I was training.
Fucking
like,
Long Island dude, like that fuck.
yeah,
Fuck
like,
that.
Guy from
I like to go out, have fun, whatever.
Right.
And like as that's going on, I'm not speaking about this side of it, but it's like happening to me in real time. Like I'm literally on the lacrosse field and I'm seeing my coach's like son, or I'm seeing my like another coach's like family member, and I'm like, I need to get back into the game, you know, like I have to like shake this off. But I do have that question, and I still do. I'm like, you know, why me? But at first I was like, is it tortured? But I feel like I want to put myself through hell to help someone. So I'm like, I'll put myself through hell to help someone.
Oh, what noble shit.
God, he's the
let me
best.
tell you. Let me ask you one of these
I'm
last
trying,
questions here.
dude. I got to.
Have you...
I'm spiritual advisor
Yeah,
here.
God. Come on now.
I'll be the first to admit, I'm kind of a pussy, and when I watch The Notebook, I teared up,
Yeah, me too.
right? So you're almost like watching these like spiritual movies that really unfold. Have you ever had a reading or a situation that you could not help but get emotional over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one where this was in the beginning. I mean, I've had many more, but this is one that always resonates with me. Is I used to have people like, you know, my name's Jonathan Mark, but people don't know my last name for a reason. Right. And it's like I did that really because I didn't want people, like my friends, to know what I was doing, right? So back then, I didn't have social media with this or nothing. It was like word of mouth, like you had to be referred by someone or some shit. And my mom still deals with it, but she was the one who was coordinating everything. But there was this time where I saw, like coming up to my house, I'm sitting there, and a mother and a son, like a son who's like 6 years old, like, and she sits down, and this kid, I'll never forget it. This kid was swollen, right? He just looked swollen. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know what was going on. I sit down, I see his terminal cancer, but like when I tapped in. And I turned to the mom, and I'm like, why are you here? Like, you know, I'm like, and I whisper, I said to come here. I whispered, I go, I'm not going to say this in front of your son, but I'm like, I see this as terminal. I'm like, so why are you here? She goes, I need you to let him know like that there is something else, you know? So I'm sitting there and I'm doing the reading, and I see this kid tearing up, right? And then I start tearing up because I'm like, this kid's 6 years old, man. Like I have to convince him, you know, that family's there, like with a reading. Like a kid can't conceptualize a reading. Like a kid can't, right? So the positive thing is that at the end, I look and I go, you're going to survive, man. And he looks at me with like tears in his eyes. He's like, what? I'm like, you're going to live. And I turn to the mom and I go, you keep me updated. 3 years, 4 years go by, cancer free.
Wow.
And then I started tearing up again, and I was just, and the kid came back and he looked different. I mean, he from 6 to 11, the kid grew.
Yeah, they grew. Yeah.
Like,
I can't help tear up on that one.
Yeah. I know.
You're nuts.
yeah, like the kid grew, and he just ran and just like hugged me. And he's like, I'll never forget it. And I was just like, dude, like you changed my life in the perspective of like more ways than one. But to see like you so scared, and then you need to know like there's something, I don't know. That's the one that started everything off with me. And then there was like many more where, you know, a lot of it has to do with children though. Like, right. And not that I don't get emotional for like people, I guess, but like when parents come and their son is dead and they died when they were like, or a daughter, like when they're kids, and you see the kid is coming through being like, tell my mom, like, I see her hugging my baby blanket last night, like that. And I was with her hugging my baby blanket. And she's like, I have it. And she pulls it out of her pocketbook. And she's like, I was smelling it last night. And like that stuff gets me emotional. And again, like I don't want to take
I'm emotional.
Yeah, like I don't want to take away from the fact that like losing a brother or sister, an aunt, an uncle, mom or dad is not emotional in any way, because it is. But you see these parents come with this hurt. Like another one too is now coming to my head, that this guy came to me and is like, again, these are things that I just don't forget, but he came in a suit, and and you can tell he's like, why the fuck am I here, right? But I opened the door and he goes, you're the kid who's reading me? And he's like, my wife said there's a kid, Jonathan. Like, are you Jonathan? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you don't look like a fucking medium to me. And I'm like, well, I am. I'm like, come sit down. And I see that he found his son hanging in his room, right? Like the worst thing you can. And I was talking to him about some stuff, and you can see, listen, I don't think I provide closure to the point where you leave like talking to me and you feel like $1 million fucking dollars. But you see the weight off of his shoulders, and the message that the son gave him that was like very personal, because there was some stuff that happened before. Like, I got emotional because he was getting emotional. He was the guy that came in the suit who was like a typical like
Long Island douchebag.
finance Long Island guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he has the hair slicked back,
Fucking
the Rolex.
giddy.
Yeah, the Rolex
Yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Like,
we're assholes.
yeah, like he came to a reading in a fucking suit, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's a young guy too. He's not even like an older guy where like, you know, he wants to look like he's still whatever.
Right.
This guy was like in a suit, like well dressed. I had him and had an NFL player that made me emotional too. An NFL player, a wife set it up. His wife set it up. He didn't fucking want to come to me. And he told me, this dude, man, I'm telling you, he opened the door. I look up. I'm like over 6 foot at 6 foot. This dude was like 6'8". Like
shit,
a
they're
brick shithouse, to the point where he had to duck under the doorway. And we have a normal doorway. So it's like
our door is normal.
fucking huge, man. And I'm
Wow.
sitting there, and he has this thing where this like, I guess you could say swag or whatever. It was around Halloween, coincidentally. I'll never forget it too. He goes into the candy bowl in my family's house, takes a lollipop, starts sucking on it. He goes, let's see what you fucking got. Literally what he said to
And you're
me.
like,
I'm like,
okay.
this dude's gonna body slam me if I fuck up. And if he does, I'm dead, man. Dead. So I do the reading, whatever. He's hysterically crying. Like hysterically crying, gets up, hugs me. Like, picks me up, hug me. Like, I don't think he realizes his own strength. I'm getting crushed at the time. And he goes, you don't understand what you do for people. He goes, you don't understand that, like, people like me that don't believe in this hocus pocus bullshit. He goes, you changed my life. And the reason why I got emotional from that one, and he did too, was it was his mom. And there was some stuff too that, like, you know, happened. But you can see again, it was like his mom was his world. I mean, when he got into the league, like,
Right.
like everything, and she missed his retirement, missed everything that was important. Like he set her up like financially and whatever. And it's just like, and like that's what I'm trying to say is like there's all different ones that are emotional, but the kid one like really fucks me up.
Well, not only are you a good man,
Yeah, you're the best.
our friend,
Yeah.
a spiritual warrior,
And advisor.
Advisor, don't forget
Advisor,
that.
don't forget
making a
that.
difference. I appreciate you, man. We appreciate you coming
You're
out,
the best.
Thank you
hanging
for
out
having
with us
Thanks.
jerk offs. So,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No, thank
2
you for
views.
having me.
1 stream. What? Not 2 girls, 1 cup.
That's funny.
That
2
is-
views, 1
one
stream.
stream.
That's fucking funny.
I mean,
yeah.
well, you know.
Look at you, Ashley.
I know, I try, you know.
That was really good. That was really good. That was really fucking good.
I try.
I think I gotta get some fucking Chinese food now. It
No,
smells
it's
good.
time.
2 views, once.
Ding dang.
I gotta go to my son's
Play?
fucking chorus. Yeah, I get to.
Oh.
No, it's not funny. A fucking bunch of
He's so
rotten
cute.
little
He's
brats
so
screaming
cute on
into.
TikTok. He's so cute.
Well, fucking lady and man, if you like what you hear out there, I don't know.
Yeah, you
Ask
know.
your neighbor to listen.
Yeah, don't forget to fucking
And where do we go? Go see Jonathan. Where do we find you?
Connect at Jonathan Mark, but don't forget to rate and review your show. Like, follow it, do all that shit.
It helps.
It helps a lot. Like, helps a lot. Rate, review their show, leave a review, and you know maybe one of you guys can come on to your show.
We'll see you on
Maybe
the
like a
other side.
listener can come on.
Ooh.
That'd be fun.
And I think we should fucking do some DMT on the air. See what that's about.
Maybe
That sounds fun.
maybe you could bring a listener on. We could all do DMT together.
Yeah.
Sounds
Lock the
fun.
door and
Have
be
like a
like,
spiritual
no,
bonding with a stranger.
Yeah. Woo.
So if you want some tacos and DMT trip, come on to Behind the
come on
Blowhole.
down.
And happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever the fuck you people do out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right.
All right.